Ready? Good afternoon. My name is Ruben Perez, and I work for District Attorney Kim Ogg. I'm Special Crimes Bureau Chief, and to my left is Sean Tier. He's the Vehicular Crimes Division Chief, and we're here today to highlight what our efforts have been for the last year. We started this effort after Hours Task Force about a year ago. Our mission then and is today to make Harris County a safer place. Our DA's office and our law enforcement partners have investigated and prosecuted intoxication manslaughter cases from the scenes of crash all the way back to bars, restaurants, and convenience stores holding individuals responsible for overserving alcohol and serving to minors. And I want to thank everybody here, especially I want to thank the media for covering this event to highlight what our efforts are and, again, to try to make our community safer. Sean?
Thank you. Thank you, Ruben. I want to start by thanking everybody here. TABC, Ronnie LaRue, Alan Wallace. We work with them all the time on these kind of cases. HPD, Captain Campbell, Commander Campbell, and the DWI Task Force, Captain Sandoval from Sheriff's Department, Fire Marshal. I want to thank them all for being here and for being partners with us on this journey that we've taken over a year, more than a year. Kim allowed us to form this task force November of 2017, after we had been here for a little less than a year, and we're just bombarded with the numbers of deaths on the roads directly related to alcohol. I said it in so many different ways over the last 2 years, but we lead the nation every year. We are the worst offender in the country at killing people on our roads. And so through Kim's guidance, we started collecting data and looking at how we could go about holding not just the drivers responsible. And at about 4:30 a.m. a year ago today, I got a phone call about a double fatality on I-45 South. It was a mother and a 3-month-old little boy who had been rear-ended by a 20-year-old drunk driver. We were able to go to that scene and put this plan into place for the first time. We found out where they were driving, or where she had been drinking. We found out who had served her alcohol and who had purchased that alcohol for her. We charged 3 other people out of those 2 deaths. We received 3 guilty pleas from that. Veronica Rivas is still pending and will likely get a trial date shortly. Since then, we have held numerous servers, civilians, bar owners responsible for putting profits over safety. Every time that we can get out here and talk about this, we're going to do it because we are the worst offenders. We are in the midst of a public health crisis in Harris County and the surrounding areas because of alcohol and drugs and getting behind the wheel. So we've got a lot of numbers to give you, and I'm going to give you to my investigator. He is the investigator for vehicular crimes. He's the investigator for major narcotics. He's the investigator for the After Hours Task Force. I'm not sure if he ever actually sleeps. But he has all the numbers of our year in review. And after that, you're going to hear from Captain Campbell. And then we'll open it up for questions. So thank you. Chuck?
As I said, my name is Chuck Cornelius. I'm the investigator for vehicular crimes, major narcotics, and the After Hours Task Force. When we started this a little over a year ago, one of Kim Ogg's quotes was, in order to do what we're doing, we have our partners in law enforcement. The goal is to shut down the crime drivers of these bars, both legal and illegal. The bars and restaurants were prostitution, drug dealing, and the unregulated drinking. And by that, we're talking after hours, serving after 215, not having a permit, over-serving minors, all the contributing factors that drive our crashes and the crime in the area. As such, between our office and our partners with the Sheriff's Department and Houston Police Department, in our operations on this task force, we've charged 59 individuals with various crimes, from liquor violations to narcotics activity to prostitution. With that, we have also entered into a memorandum of understanding with the county attorney's office to start doing injunctions, civil injunctions against locations, which now with the fire marshal's office, we are looking at the public safety aspect of those locations as well. The first one injunction was bombshells. And they stepped up to the plate and provided a number of corrective activities within their locations. Fiesta Latina up on Highway 249 was our next injunction. This was a contributing after-hours bar with auto pedestrian fatalities, individuals becoming intoxicated and being killed trying to cross 249. In that one, during the hearing, the owner surrendered his permit in the middle of court. So they've been shut down. We've also had Condor Pool Hall, which was another after-hours location, and they surrendered their permit that morning of the operation. We also had Latin Palace up on Greens Point area. There was another bar where after hours, a gentleman was intoxicated and left the bar and killed another individual. We've done a couple operations, and the county attorney's office had an injunction in place, and with their assistance and enforcing it with the property owner, we get pictures that they've chain locked the doors shut. So another success. So with our partners, with the fire marshal's office, with the program that we're going to start rolling out again, the Know Your Way Out program, public safety within the bars, the DWI task force with Captain Campbell's group, giving us the information on locations, and Captain Sandoval with his group at the Investigations Bureau, we're going to go after these locations, and we're going to continue our efforts until we get some results thereof. So with that, I'm going to introduce Captain Campbell from the task force.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to say we're happy to be here and to be partnering with the DA's office along with our other local area agencies. It's really important to get the message out that this is being conducted from a multi-pronged approach. We're doing everything that the DA can help with us in tracking down these bars and the different violations that they're doing. Furthermore, we are out conducting operations at night where we are targeting specific areas in conjunction with information that we receive. We pass that on to the DA's office. We actually have DAs that are with the vehicular crime section on site with us working at night while we process people for driving while intoxicated. About a month ago, we worked a 249 area along with the Sheriff's Department and several other agencies, including the state, and we hit that area. This last weekend, we spent a significant amount of time in the Midwest, Southwest area where we worked with Precinct 1, Precinct 8, Harris County Sheriff's Department, Department of Public Safety, as well as our agency, and processed over 30 DWIs along with the help of the district attorney being there on site with us. So we take it very seriously, and that we are collecting information from the arrests that we make, and we're sharing our data, and we're taking a really true data-driven approach to work together with the DA's office and partner in trying to make our city a safer city and our streets safer. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, me llamo Rubén Pérez, soy jefe del Special Crimes Bureau del Condado de Harris, trabajo con la fiscal Kim Ogg. Le doy gracias a todos los que están aquí, a nuestros compañeros, especialmente ustedes que cubren las noticias. Le quiero dar gracias al Departamento de Policía de Houston, al Departamento del Sheriff del Condado de Harris, también del TABC, el Departamento de Bomberos, el Fire Marshal. Comenzamos este esfuerzo hace como un año de tratar, enfocar el esfuerzo de parar que estas tiendas, estas barras, estos restaurantes estaban vendiendo a gentes que ya estaban intoxicadas, a menores les vendían este alcohol y esas personas manejaban sus coches, iban y tenían un accidente y lastimaban a gente, mataban a gente, lastimaban a gente, y miramos ese esfuerzo y dijimos, vamos a hacer algo con todos nuestros compañeros para ver qué podemos hacer para parar esta tragedia que pasa en los caminos, en las calles de nuestro condado, de nuestro estado de Texas. Solo que con ese esfuerzo estamos haciendo todo posible para ver qué podemos hacer para hacer el condado de Harris que no haya tanta matazón en las calles, en los highways de nuestro condado.
¿Qué tan importante fue el caso de Verónica Rivas para empujar a este task force, empujar a la oficina del fiscal?
Fue muy importante porque en el primer caso que hicimos, tenemos el poder y la compasión de hacer algo. Y en ese caso hicimos, como dijo Shantier, pudimos cargos a todas las personas que hicieron, no nomás a ella, pero a los que le habían servido. Y esas personas se declararon culpables y vamos a seguir con todo el esfuerzo que podemos para ver qué podemos hacer y vamos a hacer algo para proteger el público.
Rubén, ¿podrías compartir los números en español?
Sí.
I just wanted to say
Okay. Wait a minute. Perdón. Right here? These are what now?
These are people charged as a direct result of intoxicants others. These are people charged.
Oh. Tenemos 16 cargos criminales que hemos ponido cargos a la gente los que andaban manejando y mataron a alguien. Eran 16 casos criminales y 43 cargos de gentes que les vendieron a las gentes los manejadores de esos carros y esos coches. Y eran 43 cargos criminales. Okay.
Any other questions?
So it's 3 businesses that are closed, 3 negocios cerrados, or is it 3 businesses closed? I just wanted.
Were the 3 businesses?
No, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 businesses closed.
Cerramos 5 negocios. Sí.
Okay.
Ujú.
So it's been 5 closed.
Fine.
Keep coming.
What?
Keep coming.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 permanent. 1 has corrected their
Error.
correct.
Was the Rivas case the one that really was like the motivation to create this task force?
No, Sean, you can address it.
Sure. No. We had created the task force. I brought Chuck back over to vehicular crimes. Kim allowed us to have an additional prosecutor to begin compiling data. And as Commander Campbell said, this is a data-driven effort. So the task force had begun. We didn't have a jumping-off point, for lack of a better term, until this horrific tragedy, February 28th of last year. We were beginning to look at it. We'd gone and met with a number of our partners that you see here to tell everyone about what we were going to do and to get buy-in, frankly. And so this tragedy was the jumping-off point for it. This was the first time that the task force was able to kind of show what it could do. And since then, as the numbers have said, we've begun doing it.
Can you talk a little bit about the only charges I know that sometimes can be more difficult is the over-serving charge. Talk
Right.
about what goes into that
Right. Over service as a whole is a very difficult charge to make because typically the only thing that you have and the only way that you make it is the observations of some officer or law enforcement person. You typically, because it's a Class C, if they don't get behind the wheel, you don't have the scientific evidence. You don't have a breath specimen. You don't have a blood test. You don't have anything like that. In our cases, where we are going backwards from an intoxication manslaughter, we have all of that. And then we go back and we get the receipts, we get the footage from the bars, we get the testimony via either grand jury or just a statement of the servers and other people that corroborate what that blood test showed, that that person was intoxicated and got intoxicated at that bar. So it's much easier in our settings than it is for typical TABC agents or anyone else to go make these over-service charges against the servers. Yes, ma'am.
Message do you want to send to bar owners, servers? I mean, they have a tremendous responsibility, especially now with this initiative. What are you telling them? What do you want them to know, given all these arrests this year?
Right. I think the overall message is that we have a vibrant, wonderful hospitality and restaurant industry in this area. Houston is known for its bars and restaurants, and it's just social life. We don't want to curtail that in any way. But because of that, and because of the results that we see from the small percentage of these people that put profits over safety, that overserve, that serve the minors, that break the law, that it taints everyone that has a liquor license. It taints everyone that serves. And so we're going after that small percentage that are putting profits over safety and putting deadly weapons on the roadways. We're going after those people. So if you decide to be that type of establishment, be very afraid, because we're going to come after you, and we're going to find you, and we're going to arrest you. But for the vast majority of the restaurants and bars in our area, just keep doing what you're doing. It's working. Houston's a wonderful place to live and to visit.
Let me add something, Sean. To add to that, we also, when we started this, we established a email address, bartips@dao.hctx.net, and the phone number, 713-274-1500. That's for the public to give us complaints on locations. So at the same time, bar owners, we've done a couple trainings now at bars. They've asked us to come in with our partners and to discuss how to avoid becoming a target of our operations. So the other part is, if you need help, ask it. We'll come in and help you out.
Back over the last year, how big of a dent do you think this task force has made in the problem?
Numbers like this really, even in a year period, are not something that are going to be telling. You need to look at a larger data set. I would say that we need to look at a 2-year data set to see whether or not the number of intoxication manslaughters go down, whether or not the number of DWI arrests go down. It's certainly not for a lack of enforcement. If we're seeing a decline in DWI arrests, I think that will probably be our very first telling number in the next 6 months to a year. But those are going to be the tangible numbers to see if this is working. I think it can't happen without you all. It can't happen without getting this message out that way. But I think that within the next year, we'll be able to see some tangible results.
And over the next year or so, are you planning to ramp up the numbers of staff, and what are some of the other changes?
Absolutely. I'm always, you can ask Ruben, asking for more staff. Since the minute I started, just begging for it. We've applied for a grant from the Texas Department of Transportation for additional personnel. There are a number of grants and things like that we hope that we can get because, I joked earlier, I don't know when Chuck sleeps. I wasn't really kidding. He needs more help. My prosecutors need more help. We go to every one of these fatalities, and that's on top of prosecuting cases during the day. So as we get more people, and really even with the staff we have, we've streamlined it. We've learned over the year what works and what doesn't. So I think you're going to see an increased number of arrests, of media availabilities, and hopefully a decrease in the fatalities on the roadway.
Señor Pérez, veo que muchos de los negocios son hispanos, o con nombres hispanos. Esto me da a entender que muchas de esas personas que están veniendo después de las horas aprobadas por el gobierno, desde las 2 de la mañana, son dueños hispanos que tal vez vienen con la idea de cómo se maneja en México la cosa. ¿Me podría contar un comentario sobre eso? El entender que también la comunidad hispana debe ser responsable de tener un negocio, un bar.
Le voy a dar este mensaje, no nomás a la comunidad hispana, pero a todos, ¿verdad? Pero especialmente a la comunidad hispana, porque estamos hablando en español, que por favor tengan cuidado a los dueños de cantinas, de barras, de restaurantes, de tiendas, a la gente que está cumpliendo con la ley, que no le venden a alguien que ya está intoxicado, no le venden a menores, no tengan cuidado, porque el enfoque de nosotros no es ese. Pero el enfoque de nosotros sí es para la gente, los dueños de estos lugares, de estos negocios, que saben que le están vendiendo a alguien que ya está intoxicado, ya está borracho, que saben que alguien es un menor, que le siguen vendiendo o le venden a ese menor, y esa persona a casa a alguien que mate a alguien que va mandando un carro, un coche. Con todo el esfuerzo de las leyes de Estados Unidos, de las leyes del estado de Texas, vamos a castigar a esas personas. Ese es el enfoque, porque otra vez lo que estamos aquí a hacer es hacer nuestra comunidad más, que esté bien, que no haya matazones en las calles de nuestro país, de nuestro condado.
I'm curious, this approach and going after the establishments and servers, is this precedent setting in Texas or the nation, or is this something that maybe is being done in other large cities?
This is the first time that it's been done as a concerted effort. Obviously, if things fell in our laps before, even in Harris County, I've been a member off and on of this, what we call our call-out team, for 12 years. If we were lucky enough to find a receipt or a defendant or suspect volunteered where he was, we'd go back and try to find something out. This is the first time in a lot of looking before we actually ramped up. This is the first time in any major city that this has been done. And I think it's fitting that it's done in Harris County first because we're the worst. We're already ground zero. We might as well be the guinea pig for seeing if this works as well.
And what we've done here in Harris County, TABC has now done a statewide program to model what we do here in Harris County. They're starting to do statewide, but in the other states, the alcohol enforcement does something similar. But here in Texas, we're the model going on.
And that's a really good point, because TABC, based on our work with David Witt and Ronnie and Alan, have created what they call the TRACE program. And what they do is what we've been doing for more than a year now. They're taking it to other counties. And I hope that we can start doing this nationwide. There's no reason that people that supply alcohol to these people should get away scot-free when they cause carnage on the roadway, anywhere.
For the investigator, I would like to ask you, just places like Fiesta Latina and Latin places and Greenspoint, do we have an idea for how long were they operating like this, like giving alcohol after hours and minors?
It's varied by location. For example, Palacios up on the Greenspoint, they've been operating under different operators for years. And when they lost their permit, they just started to open and continue business until we got with the Sheriff's Department and did operations there. Fiesta Latina, the same thing. They had their permit, but decided 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. was their prime, which obviously you can't do, but when you're making a fistload of money, the money's greater than following the laws.
So were they pretty much closing and opening with different names?
That's correct.
Okay, wrap it up. Any more questions? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Good job.
Good job.
Hey, buddy.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, man. How about yourself?
Good. Hanging in there.
Good.
Working.
Try him with duro.
No. Inteligente, no duro.
Work harder, not smarter.